Hi. Oh, my stars. I forgot to hit the go live button. I've been sitting here telling you everything we're going to do about the day. And then I saw Christy or Teresa. Guys, is Regina late for her own party all the time? Oh, my stars. I'm Regina, and you are you. That is hilarious because I've already taken care of the business. I've already taken care of introducing today's topic. And now that I've practiced, we've already done a reading. Oh, my stars. Isn't that funny? Oh, that cracks me up. Sorry, I'm bad. Excuse me, problems about going live. I can't edit out my coughing. I went to the doctor this week. Did I say I'm Regina and you are you? Did I say that? I'm Regina and you are you. Maybe that's the third time I've said it now. Here everybody is too. Anyway, I'm still kind of chuckling because I forgot to hit the go live. Woo. So I got to do business all over again. Welcome to my channel. This is Conversations with Regina, and hit the like button, please, please, please hit the likes and hit the bell if you'd like to be notified of what's going on with my channel. Every once in a while, I'll upload something. And I hope to be doing that a little bit more here in the near future, and trying to do a little bit more. Hi, Gracie. Hi, Jessica. By just being a little more active, although it's hard for me. I'm such a sluggard, and I'm so busy. Oh, hi, Louise and Lara. Hi. The gang's here. I can start now. And so, oh gosh, what thing's creeping up on me? Oh, that old syndrome. Enough of that, Casey. I'm not old. Look at me. Where was I? Taking care of business, hit the like, subscribe, be notified. And then I've already got the banner going because I forgot to shut it off. This channel is brought to you by Raise Rose Coffee because I own that business, and drinking a Columbia Patroness this morning. It's a coffee we had up until about, oh gosh, I'm going to say 2 months ago. And suddenly the new crop is in, and it's just as delightful as the old crop. So give it a shot if you're ordering coffee. I know it was some of your favorites, and so thank you, Jessica. Here I go with the one day I'm going to learn how to be a speaker. Anyway, we've got a really amazing topic today because I'm always kind of on the verge of thinking I'm crazy and whatnot, and on the verge of going into being institutionalized. And it's, the old man. Back in the day, back in the late 60s, early 70s, back in the hippie era that I'm from and was a big part of my life. Well, it was all of my life in those days. Everybody read Hermann Hesse. He was an author that I think he died in like 1962. And everybody read his work. He had some of his more famous work was a book called Steppenwolf, which was kind of a Bible for people such as myself. and Siddhartha, which was kind of a takeoff of he was a Buddhist by nature. And that was really somewhere where I got a lot of my Buddhism back in the day. And anyway, so what I remember about the book Steppenwolf was that he would sit on this park bench and look at this door that was in this blank wall. It was old, beat up. And if you guys saw my thumbnail, you kind of get the idea of where I was going with that. And it said for madmen only. And I kind of lost track of everything else about that. I just remembered that imagery. And so I kind of looked it up to see what all that was about. So I'm just going to read this little blurb right here about this book. Drawing from personal experience, the emotion of the novel is painfully accurate, as Hesse often felt himself isolated from society. He was placed in a mental institution and even in a moment of despair attempted suicide. The message that if we fail to continue exploring our own identities, then we fall short of enlightenment and fail as human beings is expressed with hauntingly poetic imagery. And that is the story of my life. Because if I don't keep looking for my own identity, would I ever have gotten here? And I'm so grateful that I kept searching and seeking the enlightenment too. I mean, I really see that this is a huge step spiritually for myself now. And just amazing. And so we've got some more readings to do today. And the other thing I wanted to mention right offhand was that I also started reading Doors of Perception, which is the namesake for the Doors, the band The Doors. And Aldous Huxley was a friend of Timothy Leary and Ram Dass when he was Richard Alpert, and they were both professors at Harvard and started studying psychedelics. And Aldous Huxley had long been a proponent of the psychedelics for enlightenment through the indigenous cultures, and so The Doors of Perception was a book that was written in 1952, and it's about his taking mescaline, derived from the peyote cactus, and I think once those doors are opened, you can't stuff everything back. And I haven't taken hallucinogens for a long time. And last Sunday, I was out hiking and I could not believe the light coming through the trees. It was sunny and the light was so intense through those trees. I don't remember I've ever seen it quite like that before out there, because I walk in that same place all the time. And it was just phenomenal the way the light shone. And so I feel as though, my doors of perception are still open, because colors can be really intense at times. And I take pictures and I don't get the same thing I see. That picture for me, that photograph just doesn't have the magic to it that is really there in nature. And we can see so much that unless we notice it, we don't see it at all, but it's always there. And so these are some of the doors that I want to talk about being opened, and we'll see where this conversation goes. So to get started, let's do a little Khalil Gibran, because he also talks about the madman. And I just love this. You ask me how I became a madman. It happened thus. One day, long before many gods were born, I woke from a deep sleep and found all my masks were stolen. The 7 masks I have fashioned and worn in 7 lives. I ran maskless through the crowded streets shouting, "Thieves, thieves, the cursed thieves." Men and women laughed at me, and some ran to their houses in fear of me. And when I reached the marketplace, a youth standing on a housetop cried, "He is a madman." I looked up to behold him. The sun kissed my naked face for the first time. For the first time, For the first time, the sun kissed my naked face, and my soul was inflamed with the love for the sun, and I wanted my masks no more. And as if in a trance, I cried, "Blessed, blessed are the thieves who stole my masks." Thus I became a madman. And I have found both freedom and safety in my madness. The freedom of loneliness and the safety from being understood, for those who understand us enslave something in us. But let me not be too proud of my safety. Even a thief in jail is safe from another thief. Now, is there anybody out there that can relate to that? That, I think, is really quite powerful for me. And, God, all those masks that I wore prior to transition, I'm thinking there was like way more than 7. I'd change always looking for the authenticity that I so craved, and thus now I'm trying to talk like a Khalil Gibran reading. There you have it. I mean, voila. My masks have disappeared. The sun touched my face, and boy, howdy, let's get this on. So let's check in here. Is anybody saying anything? Christy kind of touches and is applicable to me at the moment. I'm out and about as Christy for the first time in over a year. Wahoo, good for you. Very powerful reading. Thanks, Jessica. What's Casey got? Well, and the masking myself was real, and it was something I had resigned. So here we are, and we're standing at the doors anymore, because to me, this whole experience has opened so many doors that are all up here, spiritual doors and doors that could be construed as places where we might not be comfortable to go. but do we want to walk away from that door? Because each and every one of us here has gone through doors that have opened up these vast expanses of new knowledge of something, or enlightenment, or self-awareness, or and our we're still kicking here, and so we don't want to stop opening these doors. Can Oh, my stars. I'm kind of at a loss for words about trying to figure out just exactly how to express myself in relationship to this, because it is so powerful. Um, you know, I can't believe where I'm at today compared to where I was 10 years ago, or 5 years ago when I started transitioning, or where I was 50 years ago when I was exploring Hermann Hesse and becoming aware of life. There's so much about life that is so wonderful. One of the other readings that I have tucked away someplace talks about beauty, and so except now the struggle is that exactly what you said about not sure about wanting to walk away from that door. I'm always kind of like the one who wants to go through the door, and more on that thought, on that door for safety, because we've built up a new security both within ourselves and within a community. And I've found that community here with all of you, and that has really helped. Isn't this community a wonderful place? And that's why, it's because we're such a strong community that I feel like I can talk about this kind of thing, and you will embrace, my questioning, my search, and join me on it. And thanks for sharing that, Casey, because that's really a whole another path that we can explore here together. Because if we're not doing this journey with other people that we can share our experience, strength, and hope with, what's the point? There is a book that I am familiar with that talks about trudging the happy road of destiny. And I have long wondered about the use of the word trudge, but sometimes trudge is just a laborious walk. And so when we're trudging the road of happy destiny, it means that it's not always easy, and it's not. But when we're doing it with others, when we're trudging that road with others, like, it's half as hard. And then we can talk about our experiences and become, I use the term loosely, enlightened together, if we so choose. And because that's the way I feel, as I get into the twilight years of my existence on this level. And please, I'm good with that. Happens to all of us. And so, I see now the importance of that seeking. Um, I remember years and years ago, this one guy introduced me to some people at his shop and had identified me as another seeker. And I was like, really? You look at me that way? And they did. And it's just great. Um, I like being known as a seeker because if we're not seeking, what's the point? You know, so have we soaked in that last reading enough? Are we ready for the next? Oh my gosh, look at that. I love that saying, Regina, a phrase for life, love, and living free. Absolutely. And that's the kind of life that we choose to live today. You know, um, you guys are like jumping in this with me here. It's almost like we're slowly letting go of our blankets one square at a time, and we get to know ourselves and our community better as both grow and prosper. Amen to that. Good job, Casey. Wow. That's cool. That's a, and there's this community here. And then there's the one on the other side of that wall for all of us, and it's up to us to embrace that too, because there's people out there that need to know us. There's people out there that want to know us, and unless we are out there and making ourselves available, I'm not sure that they get that opportunity. And so I wanted to read a little piece about beauty. I think was what I like this. This is from a book called by Greg Braden, The Secrets of the Lost Mode of Prayer. And this is a little bit out of the introduction. And I like this. So bear with me here. The most sacred and ancient traditions remind us that beauty exists in all things, regardless of how we interpret them in our daily lives. Beauty is already created and always present. While we may modify our surroundings, create new relationships, and move to new locations to please our ever-changing ideas of balance and harmony, the building blocks that go into such beauty are already there. Beyond an appreciation for the things that are simply pleasing to our eyes, beauty is described by wisdom traditions as an experience that also touches our hearts, minds, and souls. Through our ability to perceive beauty in even the ugliest moments of life, we may elevate ourselves long enough to give new meaning to our hurt. In this way, beauty is a trigger that launches us into new perspective. The key, however, is that it appears to be dormant until we give it our attention. Beauty awakens only when we invite it into our lives. And I like that too, and so everything is beautiful. You walk out that door and there's all those things, it's like the first time I drove across Nevada, I was in my dark years and I just could not wait to get to where we were going. It was just so so the nothing was pretty about it, in my opinion. And the other day when I drove across Nevada, it looked very similar, but I was just awe-inspired by the beauty that was surrounding us. Yeah, there was all this sagebrush and flat ground and I don't know if that other highway didn't have snow-capped peaks alongside of it. Maybe it was because it was the alien highway that I was on, or what. I just was awestruck by the changing landscape every few miles. And why would that part of Nevada be that, oh, excuse me, so pretty, and the other part of Nevada just be so blah? I don't believe, I think it was here because I hadn't asked beauty into my life at the time. It was those dark days before I got clean and sober, and oh my God, I was probably high on cocaine and alcohol and all those things that bring the darkness to our perspective. And so let's check my friend. So I told my new manager that I was trans, and he told me that he knew several trans people that worked for him in his personal life, and many were good friends with him. Excellent. That's good to know. So he said that he didn't care, that if he had a choice, he would specifically hire more trans people. His words were, "You're human, and I don't care about silly stuff like that." Beautiful. So my first job being out full-time was nervous, but a good experience. I'm hoping that this good streak keeps going on. Excellent. I am so happy for my friend Casey. Does that mean you're not going to be able to be here on Wednesdays, though? So that's kind of like another door that I've walked through. Amen. Amen, sister. Another square of that blanket that I can finally let go of to bring the topic back. Perfect. Wow. There's all kinds of things happening, all kinds of things in each one of our lives. And a lot of times they take us through that door, or sometimes they take us to that door. And then it's up to us to reach up, grab that latch and walk through, I personally just really kind of like that whole imagery of opening the door, pushing that sumbitch open and walking through and seeing the beauty that exists on the other side. And we know that that's true if we start looking for the beauty and kind of forget. I mean, we're not going to be able to walk away from the pain of life, the past hurts, and I mean, we can do stuff to lessen those, and those are doors we have to walk through too. You have to acknowledge that stuff. We were kind of talking about that Tuesday, I think it was. Oh my stars, we have to acknowledge those hurts, and in my own thing where I've forgotten my childhood, I don't understand. I used to have to like tell my story in speaker things in front of many people, and when I first started doing that, I would talk about my family of origin, and I would lie through my teeth. I'd talk about bullshit stuff like being imagining it to be like the Cleaver family and Wally and Hugh and June and just what a bunch of crap that turned out to be. The truth of it was I have no idea what the hell happened. There's a big blank spot there, and then I was doing this other workbook thing, and it started asking me all these questions that I needed to write down, and I'd gotten into a promise with all these people about doing this workbook and coming back and sharing the results. And I would have to make stuff up. So there's more lies piled up on top of lies, and so and so I had to start looking at that because and now I dig. I try to find out what actually happened. I've talked to my sister; she doesn't know. To her, she's 5 years older than me and didn't have any, any clue. She's not really. Let's put it this way: she's not really like me. I love her, but we're not the same. It's like we grew up in two different families, and oh my stars, Lara, what are you talking about? Well, I've been saying that all day long. Oh my stars, get out of here! I thought you were leaving for a couple minutes. Oh my stars. And so anyway, so we have all this thing, and now since I transitioned, I feel like I can live in the truth, and I keep trying to find the truth, and what happens to us, obviously to me now with all the work and stuff I've been doing, I believe that there was some kind of weird trauma at some point. Was I abused or whatnot? I'm not sure. I don't think so. I mean, yeah, we got more spankings in those days than kids do today. And was I abused physically? I don't think so. Sexually, I don't think so. I think it was more an emotional deal, and so I don't know. So anyway, it is what it is. More will be revealed as we keep trying to peel layers off of this onion. Like what a wonderful expression. Thank God for onions so that we know how to peel layers off. Because I don't know of any other thing that I can figure out that would be quite the same expression. Perceptions and we does a normal person recognize the fact that the onion's in layers, or is it people who are just free thinkers? Interesting. I get where, yeah, that's interesting, Louise. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, I think there's some things that people just don't need to know, and what is I like that, Casey. Now that the door holding us inside this jail of lies is open, we can walk through and seek our truth in this open world of concepts and ideas. So true. Pick and choose those places where you are safe, you know. That's because it's not always safe everywhere. I'm not even sure it's always safe right here in this little town that I say is so freaking good to me. When I'm out on the golf course by myself and there's a group of men, I skirt those sons of bitches, you know. Pardon my language. But what's Christy saying? Emotional, and we didn't fit the assigned role, but nobody was able to help people like us back then. So true. But, you know, that being said, there were our friends like Louise and Marty and whatnot who did manage to get away and do it. And so, you know, my hat, you know, always is off to the kids and you know, that went forth back in those days, because it couldn't have been easy. And so um do you guys got any doors that you want to talk about or share or to keep me going here? I'm on kind of a roll. Yes, because literally anything can change at the draw. Our concept of safe can change at any time. And part of that truth that we seek is always to always stay safe. Amen. You know, I worry sometimes because I'm always like, oh, you know, just go out, let yourself, you know, stick your hand out and just go out into the world and be who you are. Be your authentic self and enjoy. And I kind of freak out sometimes when I say stuff like that because it's not always safe to, oh crap. There. And so, you know, I mean, each instance is different, you know, because it's not the same in the Midwest as it is here on the West Coast and even in these rural areas. And it's not the same here in Washington as it is in Idaho. And, you know, God, that hospital that I went and had my bottom surgery at, I was almost one of the very last ones that they did there. You know, the doctor had to move up to Spokane and hook up with one of the big hospitals up there because, you know, the hospital in Idaho shut them down, essentially. And the one in Pullman never, here in Washington State, never let him get going. They would never. And his office was in Pullman, and he did the surgeries on the other side of the state line. Pullman's right. There's like 7 miles difference between Pullman and Moscow, and the surgery was done in Moscow. So, oh, we already did that one. So it must be this one. Right on. Yeah. Yeah. And we this is not a door. That's, but Louise, we got to go through that door. We got to. I love it. When people put furniture in front of doors and whatnot. You are so perfect. You are great. So, well, I ran out of steam pretty quick here. So, anyway, we could keep this going. I really feel good about it. My back's been killing me, and I haven't even left the house for like 2 days. Yesterday, I could hardly get off the couch, and today I'm doing better. And at 2 o'clock, or what would that be? 5 o'clock East Coast, 4 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Mountain, I've got to go to the chiropractor. I lost a day of roasting coffee, and so now I've got more to do. Oh my gosh. Been enjoying roasting coffee lately. Been good. Another door. Oh, all of a sudden we got a bunch of stuff going on here. Simone. I have been trying to do stretches and we will get it all together. My chiropractor. I was talking to somebody last night, and I was like saying, "Yeah, Terry." And they said, "Who's Terry?" I said, "Well, that's my chiropractor. It's like Kim, my doctor. I'm on first name basis with everybody around here." One bedroom, 2 bath. Cool. So what was the one I was looking for? It was Christy. And what does that mean? That the male slot for mad women only? I'm missing the I've got to hear this. We've already seen that. So that's a good way of putting it. Letting out the nasty stuff or actually, as you walk through into the enlightened side, or a little bit more enlightened, or the more open-minded, it could be anything, and all that other stuff just goes away. I'm not sure how much it goes away. But I don't know. Good concept though, Casey. What's happening in Oregon? More on the 27th. So are we having a meeting in June, my friend? Oh, Pauline. Good to see you here too. Yes. Just got here restrictions are being lifted more. So your numbers are going down even with the new witchy thing and everybody getting looser and or maybe you're all right, perfect. Maybe your state's a little less crazy than mine. I would imagine that Portland's better than here. I keep going dark on it, and oh, good, numbers going down. You know, we got stopped here, so we're in phase 3 of the 4 or 5 phase. I don't know, but nothing's happening now. Nobody's changing for 2 more weeks, and the world is crazy. Amen to that. So maybe I should like find another reading. I just want to chat a little bit, you know. The thing, as I look over here and I see my Doors of Perception book, I moved it over here. I couldn't find anything really that I wanted to read out of it because I couldn't find the part when it was talking about the artists like Van Gogh. It was particularly picking on Van Gogh because of you know the perceptions of light and whatnot in an artist are so intense. Like this goes back to like the trees and the sunlight coming through the trees. It was so intense that I was talking about earlier, and maybe I was talking about that before I ever joined the broadcast. And you know, what's his name? Huxley is talking about, you know, how close to being really super insane Van Gogh was, you know, cutting his ear off and all that kind of stuff, and then how that was tied so closely with being the artist and before he went, he's like saying all this while he's tripping on mescaline, and it's kind of funny that to read it because it goes off and on all these tangents, and it's, you know, a little hard. It uses, you know, it's old language too, but oh mercy, the you know, the whole concept of that, you know, we're mad women going through the door that it's inviting us in to have this world of intensity and brightness that no one else can see, and this like spills over into a spiritual concept, an artistic concept, and I think because we have all sought to be our authentic selves, that we get to share this intensity of the colors and the intensity of the spiritual world and just the intensity of life, sometimes more than other people do. And so I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm going to go back to what we got going, but it'll do the same starting next my birthday. So your anniversary and birthday are all on the same day? Well, that's really true. We all do vary, but let's look for our commonalities as opposed to our differences and then embrace those differences as well. Because the last thing that I want to see happen in this universe is for everybody to be like me. You know, I love the diversity that each um that's that's part of the being a community, and is just the diverseness of our attitudes and just everything. It's I love that you said that, because yeah, absolutely. But like, when I would say we did, say somebody tunes in here and they don't like what's going on. And I'm sure it's happened. And all they have to do is like change the channel, don't come back. That's fine. Um, don't need to make a big deal out of it. Don't, be respectful and walk away. That's all there is to it, you know. Um, I mean, who wouldn't like this channel? But um, it's I don't know if that applied. Many trans people have a form that cis people do not have. I completely agree with that. Um, because we've looked at life from two different sides of it. Whether we transitioned young or transitioned older, we there's a duality that not everybody in this world has, and I embrace the hell out of that. That's kind of out of context. Oh my gosh. Right on. Yeah. I mean, if we're really going to be spiritual beings, and we walk in someplace and there's nothing there that, you know, it doesn't mean that we can't be nice to the people, and that kind of stuff. It just we just accept and then move on. You know, it's like when we go out into the community and we go into some store, and for whatever reason, the person behind the counter is crabby and disrespectful to that person in front of you, and we don't have to do business there. I mean, we don't have to do business with places that are rude, and so we can like set our stuff down and leave, or they're rude to us, we can turn around and walk out. There's no reason, but there's no reason to make a big scene about it either. Oh, you don't make any money today. Maybe if you changed your attitude, you would. It's that simple. I mean, that was kind of the way I ran my business. Was if you haven't got good customer service, you're not going to have people coming in here to get coffee. If you don't greet them with a smile and can engage them in conversation, you're not going to get the business. That was the way I looked at it, and it was a model that worked for me anyway. So true. So true. And so we may be misunderstood. I think we're misunderstood a lot. Um, you know, because people fear what they don't understand. And that's why, if that's one of the reasons why I like to be out in the public, is becoming known, and then people start understanding, or they might not understand, but they accept, and with less fear. Let's do this one. They might expect that. Learn the lessons and live the life. Amen. Oh dear. I don't know about that. I can't really comment. I did see something about open numbers up, maybe something we may have lost in the last few years. Boy, that's the truth. The person's bad day also may not have to do with maybe they had a flat tire, stubbed their toe that morning. Part 2 of the spirit enlightenment is that we have, type faster, Casey. So we really got it going on here in the chat room. 2, the ability to better see, decipher, understand, emphasize with the person at the register. I want to be able to see and understand that person, hopefully help them say something nice. I love that. That's a good plan. I used, back in the day, when I would run up and down the highways, I was putting 50, 60,000 miles a year on my car, and probably a like number on my work truck. And I would always stop at these quick stops, and there would be these people in there that they would be nice, but they would not be overly friendly, just kind of like going through the motions of their job, and hardly ever smile. And I would take it upon myself to return and get to know these people until they could smile and be friendlier. And it was nice. And it would take a while sometimes, but always, it would become rewarding. Isn't that the truth? I know I've been like typing madly away and think that you've done something, and then you hit the send and 200 characters go up there and the rest of it's lost. So what do we got here? I think that's very true. We, as a group, seem to be more easily empathize. I would not be surprised, but what a lot of us are empathic. Casey is a miracle. So coming into her own, that we as trans are not bad people. We are humans with emotions and feelings too. By offering help and kindness, we show that we aren't just limited to 200 characters. And monsters for politicians to downplay and throw away was the end of that. Yeah. Boy, there's really been some stuff going on, Dang. And a lot of it, some of it, Holly did a lot of research for me over last week's, and bless her heart. So Yeah, she was unable to join us today, and sends her regards to everyone. So, in regards to some of these things that are going on in various states, what is is it the popular thing, or is it just fear, or is it just the politicians? Drives me crazy. And I just find it so disgusting because look at us. We're our wonderful, creative, enlightened beings and so much to offer the world. And they don't get it, you know. Just really kind of difficult to figure it all out. Oh, what's also, as a person of color, it's important that I send the same message out there. People of color have had a bad light placed on us for centuries. One of my favorite stories is my wife's. We need to distract conservatives with China or Dr. Zeus or memes of banning meat. Speaking about banning meat, no, it isn't popular to move against trans people, according to, I think the politicians are going extreme. Hopefully their strategy will really hurt them in the 2020. Cool. What was this? And a select group of people that live by a code of ignorance because they don't know any better. So grandmother, she was stranded on the side of the highway a couple of times, and out of all the people that drove past, the one person who stopped was a black guy. And I think that he actually so I've got a story about being stuck out on the side of the highway. So years ago, we were up near the Montana-Idaho border at the top of the mountain. Oh, here's Russ Casey's hold my story. Stopped and helped her more than once and changed her stance on black people. So when she met me, she had a different concept of us. Cool. It's funny that people don't stop and help people anymore. This is where I was going with my story is me and my work partner were up on top of this mountain right on Highway 12. And we started having vehicle problems, and we pulled over and couldn't get the truck running. It died right there, and we were in this big wide turnout, and God, we sat there, we put the hood up, we did all these things, and nobody would stop. I mean, there was no cell phones back in those days, and we were so far out. We were probably 80 miles from Missoula, and God, we were right on the Idaho-Montana border, and nothing. And we sat there most of the day. And finally, out of frustration, I told Skip, I said, get down on your back on the ground and I'll start doing chest compressions, and maybe we can get somebody to stop and help us. Because there was no point in trying to walk any place, because there was no place to walk to. It was 40, 50 miles back to any kind of civilization. And our crew was, God, and we kept expecting them to come and find us. But because it was him and me, they figured that we were just talking to somebody someplace and, didn't bother to come look for us. And finally, after the chest compression thing, we got somebody to stop and was able to get a wrecker for us. God, what a nightmare. It was crazy. Anyway, back to Casey's story here. Stopped and helped her more than once change her. Oh, we already read that one. So Lara's back. And so true. So true. Battle of the Bugle. Wow. Nice. I knew what you meant. I was just giving you a hard time. It's not. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, mercy me. Well, what a great conversation we've had today. It's 1:16. I have to go to an appointment at 2. We can go a few more minutes. I got to quit at 1:30. I can't go long. Anyway, I've got a really, really big show coming up. A lady by the name of Bethany Beeler is going to be my guest. I don't know if it's going to be next week or the week after that. I'm going to do a sound test with her on Sunday, kind of do a conversation. You guys who've all been on my show know everything that I put you through. And she wrote a book a while back, and I think she has another one that's just been released recently. And hopefully I can get that and read it before she comes to. That's the other thing I wanted to talk about a little bit is all of a sudden, I'm back into reading again. I had, God, for the last 15 years or so, ever since I quit camping, for work, which was around the turn of the century, I kind of quit reading. And because it would always put me to sleep and whatnot. And so here lately, I've read like 3 or 4 books, and I've got a ton of them going, but I mean, that's pretty common for me to have more than one book open. But I'm finding it amazing that I read a little bit on Medium, and then I've got like 2 or 3 books that, God, I think I read 2 books last week. Of course, they're thin, but hey, I'm taking it. Anyway, Bethany Beeler is the lady's name, and we're gonna chit chat on Sunday and figure out. She works full time during the day, so we're gonna have to tape her segments of the show, and I'm curious as to how all that's gonna go. And so whether it's just a canned show or whether I just play bits and pieces while I'm sitting here, and because I want to interact, I'm hoping. So we'll just play it by ear. I think it'll be kind of fun and a whole new thing to do. And I like all the technology. We're getting better and better. I personally liked my thumbnail that I posted yesterday with the doors and whatnot. So what is Lara saying here? So everyone sees this in through the door thing as a spiritual awakening kind of thing. I feels the same. Yes, that was kind of my whole point with it is by going through the door, do not stop at the doors because there's so much on the other side. The intensity of life is on the other side of that door. And with the intensity of life comes this spiritual blessing thing that I have found. And Simone, do you know Bethany? They're living someplace like in Colorado, I think. It's a mountain time zone. I'm not sure. Wow, I had vision come to me shortly after coming out, involved walking through a doorway into a new life. Was amazing. Amen, sister. Yeah, Regina, apparently there is a program called FreeCam. It's used to capture on-screen videos specifically for things like your show next week. Just an idea. Well, I think what I can do is tape it in here and then edit it, take it out to my editing program, and then bring it back. And I can like show, share the screen, but I'm not sure that, because the time that I tried that, I think I crashed everything. And so I don't know. Oh, you Googled. Oh, how you guys are moving so fast I can't click on it. So you Googled the information on Bethany. Okay. Have you read her before? I read her book. I'm talking about reading books, and what was it? 2 years ago? Year ago, I read her book, the first one, How to Not Know That You're Trans Until You're 54 or something like that, or How to Not Know You're Trans. And I actually did a review of it on Amazon. So I keep hitting the same ones. It's a long and incredibly liberating vision. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. What are you trying to insinuate, Lara? That I need to look into this free cam thing? Amen. Break on through. Um, and it's funny that you bring the Doors up, lyrics from the Doors, while we're talking about the doors of perception as well today. So she was also a minister at one point and taught at a Catholic school. And so I'm, really a diverse background. I thoroughly enjoyed reading her book, and I've seen pictures of her. And she looks like a character, and so this is going to be a fun deal, and or I hope it is, and we'll know more after Sunday. So oh so yeah, and she also writes on Medium. And so I've read quite a bit of her stuff on Medium too. Are you guys all familiar with Medium? I see. I see. Crum, Texas, would that be any kind of oh, the gender binary? That's another book I read. I think it's called Beyond Gender. Are we talking about that little 60-page book about non-binaries? I loaned that book out and it has failed to return. Well, there we could do that. Medium is a platform where different authors, there's a whole bunch of people who write for Medium, and they get paid for. When I started, if you applauded their work, they got paid by that, and it's a subscription. But God, my subscription cost me what, $5 a month or something, and I certainly get $5 a month out of it. You can go free on there for a long time. You can read like 4 or 5 stories a month or something like that, or it's pretty cool. Of course, there's it has a lot of politics. I mean, it's got stuff about everything. Many trans writers, many non-binaries, there's whole little parts of it that are where there's collections of gay and transgenders, LGBTQ stuff, and there, and specific writers, and tell them I sent you. You've seen a video of her? Where's Crum, Texas, Louise? Oh, look at this. Simone went and got on Google again. Thank you, Simone. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yes, you can submit writings to them. There's some tricks to get published, though, to the point where you get a lot of readers, and I don't know exactly how to do that. It just got to seeming really difficult to do, but we can quiz Bethany on that too. Like I say, I have quite a few followers because I comment on stuff often enough to where what isn't that big? I know where Amarillo is. And I know where Galveston is. And there's a lot of places in between. I'm just kidding, Louise. It is a big state. Oh my God, it's 129. So hit those like buttons. Do we have any likes going down? What are you guys on YouTube seeing? How many we got today? it's time for me to roll on. I have enjoyed our conversation today. Thank you so much for engaging. To 4,000 people, 2010. So wow. So it's a dying city in northern Texas in Denton County. So only 2 likes. Let's hit those likes and get them up there. I can't see because I'm in StreamYard. Jessica says there's 9, 10 now. So that's more in line with what we got going for numbers. And anyway, thank you so much, all of you. It has really been, and thank you so much for joining me. And I wonder what we'll do next week. I don't know if we'll have Bethany next week or if we'll have her the week after. And if I have to do very much editing, it could be the week after, because I'm pretty slow at editing because I want it to be perfect. And that's why we went live anyways, because I didn't really like to edit, but I edited Jack's Mountain, and I didn't get a lot of feedback on the way I did that. So it must not have been, quite what everybody wanted. And don't forget to hit that live button. Bye all. Lots of good vibes and virtual hugs. Amen. Take care, Jessica. And oh, you know what I was going to do too was a freaking guided meditation. Too late. I got to go. I got a doctor's appointment in a few minutes. So you all take care. Love you. And we will see you next week. You guys are the best. You are the best. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. And love each other. Love everybody. Serve everybody. Remember God and tell the truth. And those are my words of wisdom for this week. So take care all. And with that, I will bring up my outro, because I forgot the outro last week, but here we are. We got my little rainwater outro, and take care all. Love ya. Bye.